Joining me now to discuss all of this, Chriswallace, anchor of Fox News Sunday. Chris, good morning to you.
Morning to you, Sandra.
So what's everybody talking about in Washington this morning?
Well, the president's remarks. And I say, he alleges that he didn't make the remarks. But as somebody who covered a White House for 6 years, you really have to fine-tune. And the specific thing that he denies that he said was, why do we need more Haitians? Get them out. He has not specifically denied his very incendiary remark about why we don't need more people from these S-hole countries. And that, of course, is the remark that has caused a firestorm. And as you just pointed out, Dick Durbin, who was in the meeting, the #2 Democrat in the Senate, says the president is lying, and he did make those remarks.
That's right. So he's speaking at an MLK breakfast in Chicago this morning. Once we are able to turn around those comments, we'll bring those to our audience. For now, here's how the president is going on the record with this morning, Chris. He, in his most recent tweet, says, quote, never said anything derogatory about Haitians, other than Haiti is obviously a very poor and troubled country. Never said take them out. Made up by Dems. I have a wonderful relationship with Haitians. Probably should record future meetings. Unfortunately, no trust. That brings up a couple questions. Will there be a change? Will we see more TV cameras in the president's meetings? And second, I wonder, Chris, if we're going to hear more from the president as the day goes on, because this clearly is not clearing things up this morning, his tweets.
No, and look, you just have to use some common sense here. The president made these remarks. The meeting with Dick Durbin and other people was yesterday morning in the Oval Office. The word very quickly got out. Remember, this wasn't a meeting of the inner group at the White House. Dick Durbin was there. No love lost between him and the president. He quickly, or somebody on the Democratic side, probably quickly put out what the president had said. They had, what, I think it's now been about 18 hours since then to specifically deny it. It was all over cable news last night on all the channels, and it was never denied. The only thing that the White House said was that some politicians fight for foreign countries. This president fights for America. Very praiseworthy statement. It didn't in any way deny the comments that the president allegedly had made. So just common sense, you got to say, if he didn't say it, and it was such an incendiary remark, why wouldn't they have denied it right away? It took until the president tweeted this morning.
All right. So, again, once we have those comments from Durbin, we'll bring them. But Democrats are not without criticism this morning either, Chris. Nancy Pelosi said some interesting things about those 5 white guys, talking about getting a deal done. The 5 white guys, I called them, she said, are they going to open a hamburger stand next or what? And that is not going over with some, including Steny Hoyer, who took offense to that, saying the comment's offensive. I'm committed to ensuring dreamers are protected, and I'm welcome anyone who wants to come to the table to get this done. Nancy Pelosi's joke, I guess some are saying that it didn't go over so well.
No, it was a dumb remark. It was representative of the identity politics that Democrats play, that instead of talking about these 5 individuals who are having this meeting, it was, the top vote counters in the House and the Senate, both Republican and Democrat, and also the Chief of Staff, John Kelly, at the White House. It was a dumb remark, and but I got to say, in all fairness, it's a parking ticket compared to what the president allegedly said.
So, Chris, we've got the sound of Dick Durbin speaking at this MLK breakfast in Chicago this morning. He was in the room yesterday when President Trump made those remarks and said that word. And fair warning to our audience, Durbin does say the word in this soundbite. Let's listen.
When I mentioned that fact to him, he said, Haitians, do we need more Haitians? And then he went on and we started to describe the immigration from Africa that was being protected in this bipartisan measure. That's when he used these vile and vulgar comments, calling the nations they come from shitholes. The exact word used by the president, not just once, but repeatedly. That was the nature of this conversation. When it came to the issue of, quote, chain migration, I said to the president, do you realize how painful that term is to so many people?
That was Senator Dick Durbin just a few moments ago in Chicago. Chris, I'll remind everybody the president says he did not use that language. Dick Durbin was in the room, and he says he did.
Yeah, well, again, the president has not specifically denied that. He has specifically denied that he said, why do we need more Haitians? Get them out. On the S-hole remark, he has not specifically denied that. He just said, I didn't use the language that they quoted. But again, specifically was only the remark about the Haitians. You know, it's kind of an extraordinary moment when we have to caution viewers about language that the president apparently said in the Oval Office, writing off whole countries, including a whole continent, Africa. It's pretty extraordinary.
And the big question, does this give Democrats more leverage going into next week? Does this derail efforts to get immigration reform done? Chriswallace, I have a couple seconds left. Last word.
Yeah, real quickly, yeah, it does make it more complicated. And that's, you know, people have their own views of President Trump, and they'll continue to have those views. But this is going to make it harder for Democrats to agree to a deal on DACA, and which they say has to be agreed to before they agree to keep funding the government. And funding for the government runs out at midnight tonight, a week from tonight.
A week from tonight. Chriswallace will watch Fox News Sunday this weekend. Thank you so much for coming.